And scroll up there, Rick. Please, sir. Thank you. Canada was going to also deploy their own forces. This stuff goes all the way up into Canada. The CIA red list and blue list. If you were to look in your mailbox, about before Hillary got in, you would see a little blue dot or red dot. Sorry about that. It's my doggy girl. That would be in your post office box or your mailbox. And this would tell you red list means that just to wipe you out, they come and round people up. Your
underground network research.
Those tunnels go under there. Those are actually being cleaned right now. Those tunnel systems that are going up into Canada, which is, a massive nest of just total satanic mess. And then you can see the connection to Dulce and the big, huge bases in New Mexico and Area 51 and Nevada and all of that. And then you can see the old connection to China Lake, which is all taken out, and the Ridgecrest tunnel system going up through connected to San Francisco and the Presidio, going way up north through Coos Bay and Oregon and up and through Washington and all the way up. So all of that's being worked on heavily, as we'll see in this decode. And then this map is the mid-level DUMBs, the more ancient DUMBs. And they figured out, based on their intel, how much flooding all the DUMBs in the world would take. And it would drop the ocean level so vast that it could cause another ice age, because if you drop it too far, you get down into the big currents that circulate through the ocean. Like in the Atlantic, you have the Gulf Stream, and then you have the Horatio current and all of those different currents. And if you upset those currents and the ocean flows, you can literally upset the entire ecosystem of the world. And so they decided they had to use hand-to-hand combat on land, as well as certain advanced techniques that they've just recently come upon. Like they took out the DUMB in Twin Falls, in which they blew a hole in a lava tube that is part of the supervolcano of Yosemite, and in doing so, they flooded that facility down to the deep DUMBs. Now, these ones are the ones that go extremely deep and are very, very ancient. Back when the Satanics first came here, it goes into a hole that Admiral Byrd went into that is in the Arctic, and all of the bases up in Siberia, the deep, extremely deep satanic bases of the satanic beings and the demons. So what you're seeing here is the demonic stuff, the really deep, really evil stuff. That's why it says at the bottom, Wiccacraft. That's, black magic, Satanism, satanic magic, and all of that, casting, incantations and spells. And all of this is very dark and deep and evil. And so the battle down there is very horrendous, but the connections underneath the ocean are gone. Those have been blown and flooded. So they don't have the maglev trains going from continent to continent anymore.
This is the last stronghold of the Satanic Illuminati, ancient evil Nephilim bloodlines of Cain. Evidence of this battle can be seen with the fires coming out of sewers, storm holes, drains, and manholes, covers in California.
In Alaska, there was and cleaned out the Brooks Range and two bases, which were the Delta Junction and Fort Greely, which are in the same area. In Arizona, there's Fort Hiawatha, or West rather, and intelligence. This was used for intelligence training, mind control, genetics, and detention in a detention camp for renegade civilian amps and rounding up people when they do their end times. Luke Air Force Base, that's now under White Hat control. Gates Pass Base, that's now under White Hat control. Gila Mountain Area, that's now under White Hat control. And then there's the Grand Wash Cliffs, that's still under the dark side. It's the western edge of the cliffs at the head of Grapevine Wash. It must be reached via Highway 93 and unpaved roads. There's Green Valley. Then under White Hat control is Hualapai Mountains east of the mountain range, 35 miles southeast of Kingman. That's out on the way out to Las Vegas from Flagstaff, Arizona. Then you have Rincon Mountain, north side of Rincon Mountain. And I'll just from now on, if it's under White Hat control, I'll say afterwards. Mount Lemmon, Page goes all the way under Hoover Dam and the reservoir. Safford, Santa Catalina Mountains, the Sedona, Arizona detainment camp located under the Enchantment Resort in Boynton Canyon, and then under White Hat controlled the Wickiup complex, and that one was just found in the process of cleaning up some other things, and they took it out when they found it. Then there's the Yucca Mountains. You can actually see this as you drive on R40. If you're driving towards California, it's on your right, and it's easily you'll see four massive large power cables penetrating into the side of the mountain for that Yucca Mountain. There's a picture of the facility where you go in right there.
Look at that.
Then we have in Arkansas a White Hat now controlled facility in the vicinity of Hardy and Cherokee Village. This is taken under White Hat control during Hurricane Dorian. And then we have the Pine Bluff, 34 degrees, 13.4 north, 92 degrees, 1 minute west. And that's still under the Dark Cat site. In California, that was the article we saw at the beginning that's where they started the takeover of all of the massive interconnected California system. 29 Palms Marine Base is now under White Hat control. It was identified in military airspace area as our area R2501, which means it's a no-fly zone. And that was southeast of Ludlow, California. China Lake, that was completely neutralized and taken out through the Ridgecrest tunnels. They collapsed them as they came in. Then they did a series of 3 tactical nukes. The first blast was at 6.4. Second one was at 7.1. And another one followed that at 6.1. And for those that understand earthquakes, your initial shock is the highest. Aftershocks aren't lower. So that's not natural. It's really obvious that was intentional. And then you can see the link there about this, which completely made the China Lake base that was on the surface have to be completely rebuilt due to that large facility. And people freak out when I tell them this, but that was a Mark Ultra base, what they call a spark gap grid, where they have a large nuclear blast that followed that out. They come in and lay hundreds of layers of steel flooring with cages in them that they put children in. When the special forces, a large group of special forces came in, they rescued 35,927 children from this facility. It was one of the primary Mark Ultra development facilities on Earth. Uh-huh. So thank God for our military, like Trump says and Q says, because that's a lot of children that would have been that were going through horrendous situation. It's just they're in these cages and lights and bells go off and they get electrocuted all the time and mistreated badly to turn them into Mark Ultra slave bots. Then in Darwin, 4 miles west of Darwin City, there's a dam. Then we have Deep Springs that's now under White Hat control at 37 degrees, 22 minutes north, 117 degrees, 59.3 minutes west. That's then we have Fort Irwin, 35 degrees, 20 minutes north, 116 degrees, 8 minutes west. That was a detainment camp for renegade civilian ops after Hillary got in. They rounded up all of humanity into these detainment camps. That's what, every time you see that, that's what that means. Then under White Hat control, Edwards Air Force Base in the area where Diamond Creek and the South Fork of the Yuba meet. Then still under Black Hat control, George Air Force Base. Under White Hat control is Hellendale. That was the Lockheed underground facility. That was technology and secret projects development base. Los Angeles is under White Hat control on Highway 14 towards Edwards Air Force Base after Palm Day. This was for technology, the Illuminati secret projects. This facility is near the Hachapai Mountains. It's reported that this goes 42 levels deep. It is heavily involved with electronics and high-tech aerospace research. Mount Shasta, and many people that live in that area know how you see all kinds of stuff there all the time. It's a massive base. It's for advanced space technology, genetic experiments, magnetic advances, space and beam weaponry. This is the deepest known facility. It's over 800 in California. It's over 800 miles deep. Kern River facility, the hollowed out mountain next to the hydroelectric facility at the Kern River project near Bakersfield, California. The Napa Valley facility is now under white hat control. This is where they used to grab people that would go through the Napa Valley doing wine sampling. They'd sign up and they'd see if they have relatives or people that missed them. They'd grab them and take them underground here. This was located the primary entrance at the Oakville grade north of Napa. Tunnels also connect with the wineries all throughout all of Napa Valley. It's used for white slavery and mine control, as well as direct satellite communications, laser communications, and continuation of government site. In this case, we're talking continuation of the Illuminati government, in other words, the deep state. This was located on the Oakville grade in Napa County, and it's a total of 87 acres, this Napa Valley facility. Norton Air Force Base is now under white hat control. Next base, Quincy, is at 39 degrees, 56.2 minutes north, 120 degrees, 56.5 west. Then near Palmdale, we have the Palmdale Boulevard. They call it Palmdale Base. It's the McDonnell Douglas facility called the Uano facility. And you can see it better with from the Three Sisters Hills area to the south of the facility. This base is involved in high-tech aerospace technology. Then the Presidio, which is the massive system that goes under, that I was talking about earlier, that goes under all of San Francisco and out under the harbor to Oakland. That was a FEMA DOD site for Region 9 of the regional office. This was neutralized with underground burnout, which caused fires to be seen all the way down to Porter Ranch. The San Bernardino base, which is now under white hat control, was at 34 degrees, 50 minutes north, 34 degrees, 16 minutes west. I got north there again, I don't know why. Was under the entire San Bernardino Valley. It was neutralized with a tactical nuke. They're causing 2 earthquakes at 4.5 and then 3.2. Again, aftershocks are not normally like that. They're different. And you can see a lot of the domes and facilities there on that map and all those interconnections.
Yeah, so it may not be as much of San Andreas fault as it is all these wars going on down there, huh?
Yes, sir. And then Santa Barbara County is dome. It's in the thick diatomite strata, which is diatomite is a very hard mineral. It's just slightly less hard than a diamond. So that one's going to take a little more effort to get into. That's still under the dark cats or the deep state. In Santa Rosa as well is under deep state still. It's at 38 degrees, 26.4 north, 122 degrees, 42.9 west. That's a FEMA regional center for the West Coast. What is being done here is mostly kept secret, but this base is listed as a communications antenna field, but it's obviously being used for much more. Then we have the Sierra Nevada Mountain Complex, which is a very deep military base in the Tehachapi, I'm probably not pronouncing that one right myself, Ranch, and that's in the Tehachapi Canyon. It was finished in 1995 in September. This is called the Unholy Six Base. Then the Trona Complex is now white hat control. That was at 35 degrees, 45.5 north, 117 degrees, 22.6 west. It's several miles northeast of Trona, and it's directly underneath Argus Peak. This dump sits on China Lake's land and was built in the 60s, but it was neutralized along with China Lake, as well as the next one, which was part of that whole battle that they did under the special forces and all of that, which is Benicia, that's now under white hat control as well. Catalina Island base, still under the dark side, Chocolate Mountains, Death Valley, which the entrance to the Death Valley system was in the Panamint Mountain down on the lower edge of the range near the Wingate Pass, and it was at the entrance was in the bottom of an abandoned mine shaft. Then there's a Lancaster base, which is used for aircraft design, anti-gravity engineering, stealth craft, and testing. And it's 42